Meet Democrat Congressman Charles Barron from New York, who said the quiet part out loud about what him and many, if not most, of his demographic think about white people.
I have the distinct honor to be able to come before you and say I actually lost white population in my community. I lost them. They left. They left. I didn't ask them why. They left. So if you see 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 whites in my neighborhood, they're passing through. But that's on a serious note. We got 13,000 black elected officials in this country. We've had mayors, we've had governors, we have city council members. We need to get radical.
So far, this has made 0 headlines. None. Not in any conservative media. That might change because this clip is starting to be circulated. And of course, no members of Congress, no Democrats, obviously, but no Republicans yet have denounced him for his really terrible anti-whiteism. And of course, if a white member of Congress were to say such things, it would be the top story in the country. Congress would vote to expel them and literally kick them out. But a black man is able to celebrate white people leaving his neighborhood, and it's crickets. And speaking of chirps, I did add in those 2 smoke alarm beeps. It's my new favorite meme. It's the easiest meme to make, and this clip was desperately in need of them. Oh, and I almost forgot, this clip is not even new. This National Summit on Gentrification took place back in 2019, 4 years ago. So the clip is just starting to circulate. Somebody noticed it, or maybe somebody noticed it at the time, but somebody re-noticed it. A lot of noticing going on, as you may know. And so it is starting to go viral now. By the way, gentrification is a code word, meaning when white people move into a community, they improve it. And so the rents go up because the property values go up. And so a certain group of people gets upset about that, because they can't afford the higher rents. And so they call that gentrification. And so they blame white people for ruining their neighborhood because, well, they're improving it. Oh, stay tuned because there's plenty more to come in this video. But real quick, subscribe to my channel if you're new here, because obviously you're not going to get information and analysis like this anywhere else. And speaking of black fragility, which, in case you're new here, is discomfort and defensiveness on the part of some black people who live in a predominantly white culture due to fixating on long since past injustices, which they never experienced and weren't experienced by anyone in their family alive today, causing them to imagine racism where none exists and pine away for living in a culture that is predominantly black instead. This is my personal definition that I wrote up, by the way. This wannabe TikTok star staged a flash mob inside of a Target where a bunch of people came to do a dance number. And when the Target employee got upset and told them to leave, because that is kind of his job, he's kind of put him in a rough spot there. Of course, because he's white, she accused him of being racist. So she posted the video on Twitter saying, "This racist Target employee called the police on us for dancing in Target, so we danced anyway." And she got hit by the community notes, the crowdsourced fact-checking on Twitter, which is surprisingly accurate, saying that there is no evidence that the employee is racist. Target has a policy that shopping should be distraction-free. From the video, it would appear that the group is filming and dancing, soliciting attention, which is against Target policy. And this Target employee should sue her for defamation. It's time that people stop being such cowards. It's time to start using lawfare against them, to start using their tactics against them, to start giving them a taste of their own medicine. Black people have been so coddled and pampered and put on such pedestals over the last 10, 15 years, really, in the United States since Barack Obama became president, that the slightest bit of criticism for any reason is perceived as racism, and it's time to stop putting up with it. Oh, just wait till my new book comes out, which won't be until the end of the year. I always do a surprise release, so I'm not going to announce when until it's actually out, but it's going to be great. In other black fragility news, this high school teacher on Twitter discovered an airline pilot on TikTok, and uploaded one of her videos on Twitter and is really upset that because she's a black pilot, she doesn't have millions of TikTok followers. There's a black girl pilot on TikTok. Her TikToks show her actively flying planes by herself. Wow. She should have millions of followers, but this type of stuff goes unnoticed, so she doesn't. Of course, everyone's trying to be a social media star these days. The one thing the world definitely needs less of, including this girl who walked down the aisle at a fashion show wielding a folding chair, the new symbol of black power and black solidarity after the viral video of that fight on the pier in Montgomery, Alabama, where black people were using a folding chair to beat a poor white woman over the head after she was already down on the ground. And so that's the new symbol amongst a certain group of people to show how much they hate Whitey. But Whitey is getting tired of it, including Elon Musk, who's from South Africa, by the way, who experienced anti-Whiteism firsthand. And since he bought Twitter and loosened the rules, he is allowing these accounts to exist, which previously would have been instantly banned under the old ownership, accounts that report on the horrible anti-Whiteism that's going on in America and around the world. Accounts like BIack doing racism, which stands for Black, Indigenous, and People of Color, doing racism, Anti-White Watch, Shaniqua posting delusions. This one that I just found showing anti-Asian hate crimes, which, as I'm sure you know, are almost always perpetrated by a certain group of people. I don't even need to say who because it's obvious. And now there are reports that black people are fleeing Twitter because, well, they are uncomfortable with certain facts, certain videos going viral, showing what it is that a certain demographic of people do, things that the mainstream media never report on. This from the Washington Post: fleeing Elon Musk's X, that's the new name for Twitter, the quest to recreate Black Twitter, the influential online community that gave rise to the social movements like Black Lives Matter, is now a digital diaspora, or is it diaspora? I forget, in search of a new home. Oh, they can't spew their anti-Whiteism without people showing certain uncomfortable facts in the replies, and so they're trying to find a new social media platform. Black Twitter users are now digital nomads. Aw. I'm serious. Wait until my new book comes out. There I don't hold back at all. And I don't say that because it's not like it's sensational or inflammatory, the kind of language or reports or anything like that. It's just there are certain things that most people don't want to talk about. And as you can see, I'm already having a hard enough time holding back and trying to be politically correct as it is. But wait till you read the new book. Anti-Whiteism is not going to be tolerated anymore. Just listen to this guy on CNN complain. He's a senior editor from The Atlantic. Listen to him complain about the mass awakening that's happening.
And that is the belief that conservatives are the real victim of bias in a diversifying society. You know, that bias against whites is now as big a problem as bias against minorities, that Christianity in America is under assault, that men are punished just for being like men. 70% or more of Republicans in polls say they agree with all of those propositions. And what Trump has done from the beginning.
What Trump has done from the beginning is spark the resurgence of paleoconservatism, something, of course, I detail in my new book. But since that's not coming out for a few more months, order your Wanted for President shirt from my online store at markdice.com or click the link in the description below. Like all of my designs, it's available in a t-shirt, long sleeve, and a hoodie, and a whole bunch of different colors as well. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check it out.